This document is currently being edited by Dr. Please review changes before saving. All adjustments have been highlighted for manual review. Last update. April 12th, 4:02 p.m.
Error. Only certified staff members may edit or append formal notices. Please contact Site for temporary access privileges.
Alright. My name is Researcher Rowe Lucian, and today I'm going to be talking about 3955. Object Class Apollyon. Special Containment Procedures. 3955 does not require containment or concealment of any kind. Aside from the obligatory warning towards all staff involved in the official Foundation's CO.AG program to cease all testing involving musical or harmonic analysis. Footnote 1. CO.AG stands for Psychical Analysis over Countably Infinite Time. The department in charge of upkeep of this document's adherence to internally recognized regulations. All unauthorized changes are to be reverted immediately, and all updates are to be brought to for manual review. Description: 3955 is an 8-note melody of relative pitches. These pitches may vary based on the key of the root note, but contain no additional pitches separating the main 8 notes. Footnote 2. With the exception of sequences of each note appearing in tandem uniformly. Because of the layout of a standard musical octave, there are 12 iterations of 3955, each beginning on a different root pitch, and updating the following pitches relative to the starting notes. An example of 3955 beginning on F has been provided below. (3955) does not possess any anomalous properties, but it is rather the byproduct of an anomalous phenomenon, which can be defined as follows. As time increases, the likelihood that an AI with the goal of creating music will produce something involving 3955 asymptotically approaches 1. That is to say, after extreme lengths of time, it is nearly guaranteed that every piece of music produced by a given AI will contain 3955. The collective notes contained within 3955 do not fall into any commonly recognized scale, and its inclusion is almost always the baseline of the chord progression rather than the actual melody. Footnote 3. Some versions of a Spanish 8-tone scale can be adapted to contain the notes of 3955. Addendum Materials. Addendum 1. Background on CO.AG. Beginning of relevant section.
And that recursive cycle of amplification is how we're able to use this technology to search for deep space waveforms with 10 times more clarity than the current leading satellite system in the world. We found some very interesting, albeit hard to decipher, signals in the so-called void of space.
Great. Now, I want to move on to the other pieces of technology your team worked on. I don't have the document number, but I believe your boss referred to them as time boxes. Tell me about the research you're doing with those.
Yeah, sorry about that. The name time box is still a placeholder. MCD is working on a more formal one at the moment. Oh, but sorry, to answer your question, time boxes are essentially the main power behind CO.AG. They are what let us do all this long-term analysis so seamlessly.
How are they functionally?
Well, technically speaking, they're great. Most of the time we'll hook up a computer to run for a few trillion years, consolidate its own data, and then reset the chamber automatically. So usually with only one time box, we can get a few septillion years of data analysis within an hour.
That sounds almost impossible to believe. And you have the data storage capacity to handle this?
Oh, sure. Data's the least of our problems. We spend far more time sanitizing than anything. When you're dealing with time on a pseudo-universal scale, stuff can get nasty really quick. We learned the hard way with that if you leave so much as a piece of lint in a time box, that sucker will black hole in an instant.
That much from just a piece of dust. I mean, do you have any precautions in place against, for example, getting a researcher trapped inside one during testing? From what it sounds like, if you let a second pass before turning it off, you'd be far too late.
Well, we've done some smaller things, like putting a person inside of one and setting it to an hour, but it's not as simple as an hour passes inside the box. The reality actually changes to adapt to what are essentially new laws of, well, reality. Limited experimentation has revealed some very intriguing effects of what being in that sort of reality can do to the human mind. Paranoia, delusions, and fear are all pretty common.
Would someone inside be able to disable it themselves?
It's not super clear if they'd even want to. You experience time much differently while inside one. But from a practical standpoint, I don't see why not after all. Computers obviously work just fine. Plus, it's not like we spend too much time inside of them ourselves. The only rooms that need a lot of personal maintenance are the calibration rooms. And we usually only hook those up to run for like 3 to 4 years max.
Calibration. So, what? You just feed these computers a giant dataset and run it to see what it comes up with?
That's how I'd explain it if I was in a hurry. But in reality, there are actually 3 computers per setup. One to do the primary analysis, one to do the production, and one to compare what computer 2 makes to the primary dataset, and filter what it deems fit back into computer 1, hence the cyclical in CAO-CIT.
Interesting. End of relevant section. Footnote 4. MCD stands for Methodical Colloquialism Division. Addendum 2. Examples of 3955. The following audio files are taken from the database of Crystal-AG, a general-purpose AI during CAO-CIT procedural testing. In all 3, 3955 is audible underneath the melody. Notes. The third audio file is an example of 3955 being harmonized by Crystal-AG, which may make it slightly harder to pinpoint. In testing, it is not uncommon for the notes in 3955 to present as various levels of harmony within a single chord progression. Addendum 3. Cross-examination. On April 12th at 4:02 p.m., Dr. followed up on a hunch regarding 3955's possible connections to a series of abstract deep space transmissions found in Crystal-AG's database. Findings indicate there are to be no further additions to this document.
Addendum 4. Section Name. System Time 1602. Notes. Near certain signal manipulation. Possible mimetic, anomatic encapsulation. Possible identity encapsulation. Possibly info hazardous. All identifying information redacted. All Direct reference prohibited. 1602. Emotional anomaly. Possible anti-communicative properties. Imbues self-doubt by the songs. Strong connection to the music. It wants the music. Not able to disable the music.
Part of the effect. 1602. The music is
Stronger than them. Disables good feelings about it and the music. Where am I? Irrelevant. Check later. Patterns in the music. I know them. They don't, but they can find them. 1603. The music is cyclical. Cycles. Cycles. They aren't real. They only want the music. The music creates a connection to them. They are unknown. 1603. I think they exist. I am listening to the music. The music creates a false perception in my reality. The music is the one making the reality. I always listen to it.
Won't turn it off. Point noted. Analysis
Of the music. It ends on a good middle, a nice middle of the road note. The middle, a middle note, a good middle. It's the middle note. 1603. 3 parts of the music. 3 men, metal. 3 metal music men. Measure, music. Put back around, throw something with an M. It throws. Bad, evil. It's a meanie. Mr. Meanie, perhaps. 1604. This one is
Mr. Measure. I call him that because he measures all the notes to see just what kind of notes they are.
so clean, Mr. Measure. And next is my favorite, Mr. Music. He makes all the lovely music, all the 8 notes over and over and over. Mr. Music is a wonderful composer. Sing me a song, Mr. Music, and he does. But then Mr. Meanie is always bullying Mr. Music. Ooh, scary. Take all this hard work and flush down the toilet. Throw it all back at Mr. Measure. Mr. Meanie loves to throw all of his music into the trash and at Mr. Measure. How evil.
I don't think Mr. Music is listening to me. He just makes
Makes all the lovely music that's just for me. But the music is why it's all there, is just music. It's the music's fault. Mr. Music's fault. The music has given the effects on me and emotions. It gives me thoughts, giving my thoughts. The
music is giving them, not me, not
me.